Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Miss Honeydrop. In this video, I will be talking about Orishas. What is the meaning of Orisha? How they came to be, their stories and the myth surrounding it. Is it true? Is it myth? We'll talk about it. As you know, like, share, subscribe and hit the notification button so you're immediately alerted the moment new videos come up. Okay? Right. So what is the meaning of Orisha? The word Orisha simply means set aside, selected, uniquely, picked for special mission, for lack of better words to use. In Yoruba, Ori means the head, to sha means to pick. So Orisha, the one that is picked by the head. As there's this proverb that says, Adayebala kunleyo. How do I translate this now? What you find yourself doing on the head plane is something that has been predestined for you. I think that's the easiest way to interpret it. Okay? Now, Orisha. They are separated, selected, uniquely, divinely picked for a special purpose to accomplish when they got to this earth plane. Now, you'd hear things like there were 16 Orishas in the creation story. They came, Ogun was the first that came, and then he charted the way for the others, and then followed by is it Obatala? You just hear all those stories and you be like, wait, did this really happen? Like, people just anyway, I'm here to I don't want to debunk the story completely, but I want to find a way to separate things that happen in the spiritual realm from the things that happen in the physical realm, the 3D world we live in. We breathe and eat and do number 2 and all that stuff, the law of gravity. So before I go into the details, let me just explain something about spirituality. There are portals. I'm sure you've heard of the word portal, where these portals around allows you to have access into another dimension. People who are developed and advanced enough to open a portal and close a portal, they know how to access it. They know what to say to the ground, and it would open, not physically with spiritual, not physical eyes, but spiritual things. You hear things like, oh, I'm going on a spiritual journey into the water, and you're like, what? You're going into the water? You're like, actually, I remember asking my Iyanifa this question recently, because we were just having a conversation. I'm like, someone had said something, to cut the long story short, and this led to us talking about portals, and she said things like, when people say these things, sometimes they're just being silly because they don't explain what they really mean, which is the truth. When someone tells you, I'm going into a journey into the water, what you think is that they are going into actual water, like the river or the ocean, with their physical body, and they're still able to breathe, survive all through that period for maybe 2 weeks. But what they really mean is they are not going to be in this physical realm. How do I explain this? It's too complicated. Their physical body will be here, but they are going on an astral projection would be the best way to explain this, like a trance-like state, where you are astral project. When you go into astral projection, your physical body does not leave where you are, but your spirit body leaves. And this is why people need to be grounded and well protected, because shit hits the fan, you can actually die from there if another spiritualist is aware of what you're doing and they attack you. But I don't want to I'm not here to spread fear. I'm not fear mongering. I'm just using that as an example. Now, the aspect of Orishas doing this or doing that, where you hear metaphysical occurrences happening and you don't have actual explanation for them, and they do not fit into the laws of the gravity and actual events and occurrences that happen in our 3D world, it doesn't make sense. Now, as you know, most of our ancestors, our forefathers, they are very wise, knowledgeable, but they're not, we can't categorically say they were educated. Now, education plays a major role in you being able to break something down and explain it for someone who has no clue about anything spiritual to still understand it. When they're telling the stories, they do not break it down, because in fact they speak in parables most of the time. If you're not clever, you would not make head or tail of what they're saying. You'll be lost and you'll be like, what is he saying? I remember when I used to spend time around my grandma, she would say certain things and I'll be like, okay. And then my mom comes to the rescue and explains it to me in the simple words that a little girl can understand. Because if it were left to my grandma, I would have no bleeping idea what she was talking about. So they speak in parables most of the time. They make things that are not real seem real. They explain events from the astral plane as if it were physical occurrences. You know? Let me look for an example. Now, an example of this would be when was it Ezekiel that God was having a conversation with in the Bible, and he said, my son of man, can these dry bones rise again? Now, that was not an actual physical conversation. It was I think it was a dream or a prophetic, I can't remember the story, I'm not even going to lie. I think it was a vision. But then anyone who is not clever would think that actually happened between him and God, physical, seeing him standing like an apparition, or where you do an evocation and call them into full appearance. Even when you do evocation or you get an apparition from an entity, you are the one who can see it. The people around you can't see it. So let's say there are two people in this room. I might see Oshun standing in front of me and the other person won't see shit. Not because there's anything wrong with them, but at that point in time, the veil of my own eyes have been lifted and I can see into the other dimension. Do you understand? Now, this is the kind of thing that happens, and people tell stories as though they are actually real. I think you'll be thinking now that I'm going around in circles. Where are you going with this? Now, where I'm going with this is the story of the Orishas, where you hear the, in Oduifa, sometimes the stories don't add up. You hear things about their physical life, you hear things about their spiritual aspect, but because they're not separated, they are told as events that happen here, and then we are made to see them as supernatural beings who were just flying in the sky or stuff like that. The things they did marvelous things, they had immense powers, do not get me wrong, I'm not here to put them down. But so many other things didn't happen in the physical plane. They happened in the spiritual realms. The story of, I'm trying to find a good example to tell the story so we have an idea of what I'm trying to say. The story of Oshun going, when she and the men had misunderstanding, the male Orishas, and she was upset because they neglected her and put her to the side and all that stuff, and she just left them and went to powder her face on another planet somewhere. She's known to be associated with Venus, so she just went there and was chilling, and they did a lot of stuff, but there was no water to make the land fertile. And then they went back to Olodumare, and Olodumare said, "Where is the woman that I put among you?" She was the only female Irumole at the time, because there are 801 Irumoles in total. Igbamole 400, and I think 401 Irumole. See, I'm getting this whole thing mixed up. My head is spinning right now. Back to the story. She was neglected, and then Olodumare said to them, "Go and get Oshun." Now, some people believe the idea of Olodumare is not a godhead as a single person, but a combination of energies, like a council of elders. I'm not here to define who God is. I've said this before. I'm saying it again. God is God to you as you see him. God can be a singular. God can be plural. God can be the universe. It's up to you how you define him. Now, they went back to Oshun, apologized, and she warned them, don't try that shit again. Because she's just bougie like that, and she puts it straight. And then she eventually helped them. Now, if you listen to this story, you'll think it's a whole pile of bullshit, because, wait, how? Oshun is living in another planet, blah, 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 stuff like that. Don't make sense. Now, this obviously came out in Anodifa. The fact that this happened or did not happen is really confusing, because you'll be like, wait, I thought Oshun walked the earth and lived. Yes, she did. Some of the things happen in the spiritual realms. Remember, even on this physical plane, so many guys are misogynist. They are narcissistic in their ways. They want to push women to the side. You're working on a project together, and they just make you feel like you're nothing. For instance, if I was to be the only woman in the midst of God knows how many men, and they think I hold no value, but then my own one idea is what will bring everything together, in addition to their own effort. And then they do everything and nothing works, and then they go to a place of prayer and ask Olodumare, how do we complete this mission that you've given to us? And they said, oh, you ignored Miss Honeydrop. Why don't you go talk to her, and then she's got an idea for you that's going to make everything come together. You know, this happened in the physical realm, but we also do have events that people clash in the spiritual realms. I've had that so many times, where we have energetic fight, not physical fight. On the face level, we're hey girl, how are you? You're right, okay, bitch. Fuck you. But in the physical realm, we're like, die, bitch. Sorry, I'm being a bit dramatic. I'm just trying to give you a clear picture of how this whole Orisha stories, Odrifa, comes to be. So it's more of the time an energetic conflict or event, but the stories are told as actual events that took place in the physical plane, and this causes a lot of misunderstanding and confusion between people and all that stuff, and they're like, which one is real, which one is not? Is it myth? Is me? And then they call it mythology, they call it Oshun's story, Oshun's pathway. You know, I'm just using Oshun as an example in this video. It's not all about her. So that is some of the reasons why things might seem as though Orisha stories are conflicting and misunderstood and everything like that, you know. So we have a little one moving around and flying about the room. It's quite distracting. Right. How do you get to know your how do you put it? Guardian Orisha, Head Orisha. The way to find out who your Head Orisha is through divination. But in some exceptional cases, the Orisha will come to you, which happened for me, because even though some elders try to debunk that and say things like, oh no, you can't tell us that, it has to come out in the Odrifa that it is this person, this Orisha rather, that is your head one. Hey, you can stick to your, but we are moving forward. The world is moving, and I'm hoping and praying that our elders will follow suit, because all this conflict of ideas, conflict of interest is just too much. One person says this, another person says this, but that's none of my business. Back to the topic. How do you get to know your head Orisha? Most cases comes through divination, where your Orisha will be made known to you. But like I said, in exceptional cases, the Orisha himself or itself, herself, would come to you. I've had cases where Olokun went to the people, and Olokun will keep talking to you in dreams. You get signs from Olokun. You see things that belong to Olokun. You hear the name. You see topics surrounding him, for instance. Same thing for Oshun. Someone will randomly come and start talking to you about it, and you're like, okay, I don't follow. These are ways you can know. No, don't quote me on that. It's not completely the way to find out who your head Orisha is, because that can be misleading. But for instance, I found out Oshu is my head Orisha because at the time I was a normal Christian girl who was not interested in anything African spirituality. In fact, I was not moving in the direction of anything African spirituality at all. I was just busy praying, living my life. I'll tell you a story of how I found out. I was praying with normal Olukoya prayer. I had the habit of praying from 11 till 12 or 1 o'clock, depending on what my next day is going to be like and how tired or how much energy I've got. And that period, I was just praying for one thing: what is my life purpose? And here comes flying Oshu into my life and says she is my head Orisha. Told me a whole lot of stuff about me that I didn't know before. Okay, fast forward, a lot of other things happen in between. Okay, whoa. I started finding out things about her. It turned out I had a lot of energy in me that I didn't even know before. I mean, how would I know? I was not raised in that way. I had no business with Orisha or anything traditional. We were raised as Christians. All my family are still Christians. I mean, my immediate family. We've got Muslims in the family as well. We are open to all religion. I'm not here to criticize or put anyone down. Do you. If not all my friends, the majority of my friends are Christians, and we are not at war, okay? So it's just, I'm into African spirituality as a calling, not by choice necessarily. It's something I've come to embrace because it has a lot to do with my life purpose and all that stuff. Okay? Okay. So these are ways you can find out. They come to you themselves. And even after they come to you, you still need to do divination to find out. And it will come out truly that, oh, you are either Oshun or no, you are not Oshun. You are so and so Orisha and all that kind of jazz. It could come out to be that you have other Orishas in your chat, in your Odu. So this is one or two other, these are the ways you can find out. You can't find out about Orisha using tarot cards. Don't do it. You cannot find out who your head Orisha is using 4OB. Using cowrie shells to find out. Except you are an ordained priestess who knows how to do Dilogun divination. Don't use 4-faced Obi to toss it on the floor and then tell someone, oh, who is your head Orisha? Yes, I see it clearly. You're messing with something you don't want coming after you. So I'll leave it at that. just don't do it. Right. After you find out about Orisha being one or two other Orishas being your guardian Orisha or head Orisha, do you have to get initiated? It depends. If you have a calling to be a priest or a priestess, an Ifa priest, a Babalawo, or you are called to be an Iyanifa eventually, or just generally an Orisha, you then need to get initiated. But if the Orisha comes to you only because they see things coming ahead of time they are trying to protect you from, then if you don't have a specific calling, you don't need to get initiated. You just need to venerate them from time to time, develop a relationship with them, and that will do. This is not for everyone. Getting initiated is not for everybody, because there's this whole misconception of, oh, okay, Oya is my guardian Orisha, I'm getting initiated next tomorrow. Right, get it ready, buy everything that is needed for the ceremony. We're doing it. Chill out. Okay, calm down, breathe. It doesn't work like that. It's not meant for everyone. See, spirituality is not easy. You know, a lot of people come to this and thinking it's just all fun and games. I'm sorry, I had to laugh. Yeah, it's not all fun and games. Trust me. Yeah, I'm not going to say a lot of things. I don't want to discourage anybody, but I've said this before in another video. You will be tried and tested. Your consistency, your determination, your resilience would be put to test. You know, your diligence, your purity, everything will be put to test under microscope by the Orishas. And then you still have guardians or guardian parents, mentors, who would also put you through their own test to see how much you're growing. It can be a tasking sometimes, you know. But if it's meant for you, you would ride the wave. That's what I can say. You would ride it almost effortlessly. It would almost come natural to you. Of course, you'll feel the pain, but yeah, you would enjoy it. You would enjoy it. So yeah, that's what I would leave on that. Are Orishas to be worshipped? Orishas are not to be worshipped. Let me say that again. Orishas are not to be worshipped. I don't know where people get this whole idea of, Orishas. You don't bow down to Orishas. In Yoruba, there's something called Iborisha. Actually, there's nothing like Iborisha. I'm Bo Orisha. Kim Bo Orisha. Orishas are never to be worshipped. Anybody that tells you bow down to the Orishas, tell them hell no, because that is just wrong teaching. Orishas, you walk with them. Work with them. Should I say work with them? If that is clearer. You do not, at any point in time, bow down to them. It's like saying, yeah, I know comparing Orishas with ancestors is a bit of asking for too much. But it's like saying I'm worshipping my granddad. Like, the heck? I can call on the energy of my granddad as an ancestor to help me with something, but I'm not supposed to worship him. He's not God. He didn't create me. He is there to help me, not to be worshipped. When you need an Orisha, you seek them out to come and help you with one aspect of your life or the other, or something going on. But they're not to be worshipped. Put that nonsense ideology to the side, because a lot of people, I think people just have this idea of always wanting to worship something. And when they can't find it, it's as if they have to replace something else with something else. One thing they're worshipping with another thing. You know, Orishas are not to be worshipped. You know, the way I'm screaming out, calm down, girl. Why are you so angry? I'm not, oh. It's just that they're not to be worshipped at any point in time. So let's just get that straight, okay? You call them for help, you talk to them, you venerate them, and all that. Their energy can be intense, and as you should know, that's why it might seem as though they're all out there sometimes. But in spite of that, it's like saying you want to be worshipping angels or you worship demons. Sister, no, don't do it. Don't worship anyone, anybody. Orila baboka for Orisha sile. In fact, if you are so desperate, you're looking for something to worship your head. Worship your own head, or worship. Ngwanu, worship. Since you are looking for something to worship your head. Don't worship Orishas. Worship Olodumare, the creator. Don't worship Orishas. Don't worship angels. Don't worship anything. Don't worship the tree. Don't worship the water, the ocean. Don't worship rocks, stone. Worship God, the Olodumare. In the Yoruba cosmology, the term God is almost not acceptable. In fact, a lot of the elders will cringe just by me saying God. But I mean, this is not only directed for the, Africans or Yorubas. It's also directed for anyone around the world to watch, so that they can understand where this whole thing is coming from. I'm not just going into this topic based off my culture, but for other people who are not from the Yoruba culture to also understand this. That's why I use God interchangeably from time to time, so that I don't have my head on the spike in the name of using the wrong word. I know, like, oh, why did you say God? Oh, calm down. Okay, it's Olodumare. Olodumare, if you don't want him compared to God, there's no God, all these arguments. I'm not here for that. I'm just whenever this whole ancestor, Orisha, God argument comes up in the spiritual community in Yoruba land amongst the elders, I really just want to take the back seat and be like, yo, I'm not here for this. In fact, I don't have the energy to go into that conversation because it can be really draining sometimes. So this is where we leave it today. I hope you actually learned from this video about Orishas and how they're not to be worshipped. If you didn't pick anything, pick that. Don't worship Orishas. Walk with Orishas. Don't worship them. And if you've got any question, leave a comment and I'll respond to it. I'm doing my best to break this down in the simplest of terms, and to other people, I might not have done justice to this, but hey, I'm a student forever till I die, so I'm always learning myself, and I do my best to get the best of information from the elders, from the archives of Yoruba cosmology as much as possible, what the resources that are available in the university for people who have access to it, who can tell more. I do ask my questions. So this is how I get my information. So I don't just go off what is on the internet, because the internet can be really, misleading sometimes. So we need to bear that in mind. Anyway, thank you so much. I'll see you another time. Stay blessed and have a wonderful time. Love ya.